You are a venture capitalist, normally based in Tel Aviv, but overnight you volunteered to be a reservist by virtue of you being too old to be conscripted, I think I'm right in saying, and you have already been deployed. As best you can, just explain what you're doing.
I think, unfortunately, you're muted. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, I'm a bit too old to get called up to my usual unit, but I did find myself something useful to do, and I've been doing it since this morning with many others.
So, Shmuel, you're a venture capitalist that invests in Israeli startups. But I guess the question at this stage is, why have you done this? Why have you felt compelled to put aside your day job and take on a deployment?
I think we're in a war. This is a different situation than anything we've seen for 50, potentially for 75 years. Saturday was the bloodiest day in probably in Israeli history, bloodier than any day in the Yom Kippur War and the War of Independence. Hundreds, if not more, of soldiers, but women, children, elderly people were killed in their beds in what is undisputedly Israeli territory. And I think as an Israeli, it is my duty, it's all of our duty to come and protect our country. I'm doing this for my kids, because this war will be a big part of determining the country that they will live in. And this will not be, I don't think this is going to be another operation like we've been accustomed to. This is a war. It is a war of different magnitude than what any of us, I think, have seen at least in my memory.
Shmuel, this is a story of people, of family, of your children, as you cite. This is a story also of people trying to build economically, and indeed a time that you are someone that wants to see a thriving startup community, one which I think you have 24 portfolio companies. It's hard to talk about business in a moment such as this. But how are you thinking about what this does to an economy, to the people who want to build?
I think that what we're seeing today in Israel is the reason that Israel has been so successful as a startup nation. We're seeing hundreds of thousands of people getting out of their lives, getting into uniform in moments. And people have been just rushing into military service. They've actually, most of the phone calls that I'm getting are about people who've been turned away. They're trying to find a spot somewhere to go and fight. And a part of this is the social cohesion. This is the spirit of entrepreneurship that makes Israel successful as a startup nation, is what we're seeing today. I think this is an integral part of Israel, actually. And I think one of the reasons that we will come out of this stronger and better, the fact that this is really a civic society that knows how to also fight. And many of our portfolio companies, the CEOs, developers are now fighting in different areas, and I think it's the way it's going to be. But when we get back to work, we'll get back full force.
How are you using technology right now to inform yourself, to stay connected?
Well, luckily we have a good 5G everywhere. Israel's a small country, so we have the luxury of being in a war zone that has good enough coverage to do a video call.
Shmuel, and on that note, I just remind our audience that you're coming to us in military attire. You volunteered for a deployment, but you are a venture capitalist. You talked about some of the phone calls that you're getting, be it friends or industry partners. You have Israeli colleagues who are working at Target but deploying capital in Europe, in America. Do you think that any of your friends or partners, or indeed portfolio founders, will come from overseas, abroad, back to Israel to join you in the initiative that you are taking?
Yeah, I think many are. We've helped organize some planes for reserve soldiers who want to get back. And many people are crowding the airports trying to get back and help. And also we're getting a lot of support from our Israeli, from our Jewish, but also from our non-Jewish friends and colleagues in Europe, in the US, in the Middle East. We're offering condolences, support, and help. So we're seeing a lot of outpour. I think people do understand that this is a very unique situation, probably
Shmuel,
once in a generation.
Sorry to interrupt you. Caroline summarized it completely right, that it's difficult to talk about business and operating right now. But what happens to your portfolio companies? Can you deploy capital? Is there a need to sort of deploy capital because of the situation in Israel and helping those companies continue to operate? Or are they able to continue with some normalcy?
So I think Israel is very good at continuing to operate normally in abnormal situations. And as far as the portfolio companies are concerned, everybody have made arrangements to try to keep the businesses running, to have business continuity. CEOs have been called up, have been signing board resolutions all morning, getting new signatories instead of CEOs that have joined. And I think we have definitely some people who are not going to join up and will continue to work, and our colleagues abroad will continue to work. So I think we will be able to operate as close to normal as possible, even during the war. It's one of the things that happens in Israel because we are unfortunately used to this. It happens not in this magnitude, but has happened before. Our companies have plans for it, and they'll continue to operate. Business
continuity, something unfortunately that you've had to understand and prepare for. And to that note, we had, of course, Galit Elstein just a moment ago talking about the divisions in internal politics of late within Israel. How much has that affected business? How much has that affected the flow of money coming into Israel of late, if at all?
I think that it has affected the Israeli economy. But I think it's absolutely not the time to deal with it. Right now is the time for national unity. Now is the time to put our divides behind us and just go to the fight.
Shmuel, from a unity standpoint, there are many global technology companies. Intel, for example, has 12,000 people in Israel. They've made commitments to expand their wafer fab manufacturing footprint there. But do you worry about the sort of long-term attitude that global tech players, who do have a really heavy footprint in your country, now take, how they view Israel?
First of all, I hope they view their commitment as long-term, and I hope they'll understand that Israel still has a lot of unique talent to offer, unique capabilities in the tech space, and I'm sure that once this ends, and it may take some time, but it will end, and we will win. They'll be back full force operating here, as they have for many years. I mean, Intel's been here through a lot, and they've still thought it was worthwhile to continue to invest, and I'm sure they will continue to do so in the future.
Shmuel, you have, of course, just been talking about the ecosystem, what makes entrepreneurial spirit different in Israel. Do you worry about talent, the flow of talent? Do you ever concern yourself that people aren't like you, that they don't return to deploy money to make their headquarters within an Israel-based business?
I want to tell you that I think when we spoke last, I think we talked a little bit about the political issues in Israel, and I think there was a flow of talent out of Israel, but I think after this, there'll be a flow of talent back. Because I think in the end, Israelis feel committed to this country. And when it is in trouble, they return. And I think there'll be a flow of talent back, not out of Israel after this ends.
You're referring to the reaction to the judicial reforms and the debate that caused in the country. Just very quickly before we let you go, will you continue doing deals, Target Global? Will you continue with rounds that you had in the works prior to the weekend's attack?
We'll continue. We have a big international team, and our team will continue to work as normal. So we have a great team and a strong partnership. They'll continue to work, and we'll each do our bit. But we will continue, and we're going to continue to meet all of our commitments to every Israeli company and continue to support our portfolio throughout. And at the same time, we're going to give resources to support people who need our help.